Hello and welcome to the Daily Draft, where we take Magic one draft at a time. We are in a Battle for Zendikar Swiss draft, and we've got... We've got to adjust the size of that. Alright, we've got an interesting choice here. There's a Complete Disregard, which is a premium removal spell. Very good. Rune Processor and Breaker of Armies are both big guys that I really enjoy playing. Sledgecrawler is one of the best one-drops that I've gotten the opportunity to play in a long time, and Merc Strider is just fine. I'm going to go ahead and take the Complete Disregard here. Complete Disregard is great early game, and even sometimes late game. We're passing a Smoldering Marsh, but that's like $1. So, yeah, we're pretty happy just taking a removal spell first pick. Here, I am going to go ahead and take Bane of Balaged. Bane of Balaged is colorless, so it keeps us open. In addition, it's one of the stronger Eldrazi that you can be ramping into. Playing a Rune Processor on turn 5 is kind of meh. Playing a Bane of Balaged on turn 5 is really scary for your opponents. Desolation Twin continues to disappoint me. 4, 5, 6, 7. A couple of options here. Malakir Familiar and Benthic Infiltrator are both fine cards. Dominator Drone is good in the Devoid strategy. Myers Malice is pretty decent. I think it's between Benthic Infiltrator and Malakir Familiar, and since we have already gotten a complete disregard, I'm going to go ahead and take Malakir Familiar. It also keeps us a little bit more open, and it's more of a removal spell on a stick than anything else. Malakir Familiar lets us play black-blue, black-red, even black-green. Although we're probably not going to play black-green. I like Silent Skimmer quite a bit. I think it's really good when you're playing defensively until you play Bane of Balaged or something. But I'm going to go ahead and take Ulamog's Reclaimer. I like this card a lot, especially with things like Complete Disregard, where just resolving the spell will put something into exile that you can then process and get back with Ulamog's Reclaimer. Interesting choice here. What is a foil Smoldering Marsh going for? That is a good question that I need to ask myself as a... Smoldering Marsh foil... $1.50. I think I just take the Brood Monitor here. Brood Monitor can be quite powerful in the right deck, and I did pass a Rot Shambler earlier on, so maybe we'll wheel it. There's also a Spell Shovel, which is fine, but, you know, I haven't played green in a while. I'm gonna go ahead and take Courier Griffin here as the strongest card in the pack. Like it better than Blade Fin. We still have some options for which way we want to go, so not really worried about taking cards that don't fit together. I think it's between like Spell Shrivel and Molten Nursery, and I think it's just Spell Shrivel. Like Cloud Manta's fine, but Spell Shrivel's a little bit better. None of these cards are super great. Like, I guess Vestige is one of the better ones. Territorial Baloth is fine. Jaddy Offshoot is kind of funny. I think I take the Oran Reef Invoker though. It's probably the strongest card in that pack. Followed up with an Eyeless Watcher. And a Rot Shambler. Alright. Call the Scions is fine, and Valakut Invoker is fine, but yeah, I can see playing green. Take that out. I'm gonna take Plummet over Altar's Reap and Stonehaven Medic. So we can play green, black, green, blue. I think green is open, and it's probably one of the stronger things that we could be doing. So I guess the real question is whether we want to be playing green-black or green-blue. Green-blue is a little bit out of place in this format, especially just because the green-blue mechanic, quote-unquote mechanic, is Converge. Going to go ahead and take a Scour from Existence here, especially since I have the Eyeless Watcher and the Brood Monitor. The green-blue mechanic is Converge, which isn't really so much of a mechanic as it is a... Well, it's like exclusively green-blue. The whole point of Converge is playing multiple colors. So if I went into blue, I'd be doing it for something like a Ruination Guide, which could pump my Eyeless Watcher and Brood Monitor tokens, as opposed to doing it for Converge cards. Okay. Horribly Awry and Clutch of Currents are both good in blue, but Brood Butcher is actually a sweet rare to open when you're considering going into the black-blue sacrifice deck. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Apparently, I might have needed working capital for my business, and somebody was really prepared to give it to me. Okay. Please. If you have my phone number on some sort of mailing list, please just take it off. So things that we're looking for in this deck, just lots and lots of tokens and removal spells. Removal spells are very good in this deck. I could see taking the Silent Skimmer or the Beastmaster, but I think I just want an Evolving Wilds in case I do want to splash something. Like, both of these are fine. Like, Beastmaster especially is good in the token deck, but I think Evolving Wilds is... It has, it's better for me to pick up early. That's the words. Gruesome Slaughter's sweet. Rising Miasma, kind of bad in this deck. Mire's Malice, fine. Benthic Infiltrator and Nullifier are both good in the blue-black deck, but Gruesome Slaughter is really sweet in the Token Swarm deck. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. Perfect. Catacomb Sifter, the uncommon that we wanted. I could see taking Mortuary Mire, something like that, but yeah, I'll take a Catacomb Sifter. I think this is the way ideally that I would go into green most of the time, where I pick up some good cards early in the draft, and then I wheel things like Brood Monitor, Eyeless Watcher, and Rot Shambler, and then pick up like some strong uncommons to support it in the second pack. That's the way I like going about playing green. If I had opened the Brood Butcher, I probably would have taken like the Touch of the Void in the pack. I kind of like Plated Crusher in this deck. It's a little bit awkward because it's kind of difficult to ramp into, but it's also really difficult for our opponents to deal with, and the alternative is like Mindraker. Cosmic Sentinel is a card I like a lot in Devoid decks, and Horribly Awry would be good in the blue deck, but I'd like to stick with black. Yeah, I think Catacomb Sifter and Brood Butcher are strong enough to stick with black. So we're going to go ahead and take the Plated Crusher and make a thunk sound effect every time we cast it. Okay, so there are 2 Rising Miasmas in this pool, which means that instead of just having these guys hang around, we're going to want to be able to use them right away. I'm going to go ahead and take Deathless Behemoth. Deathless Behemoth is one of the stronger, like, mid-range Eldrazi. Again, Silent Skimmer I like, but I like Deathless Behemoth a lot more, especially in a deck that can actually use his activated ability. Sick. Another Rot Shambler. Deal. This deck I would actually play Call the Scions in. Swarm Surge is a good finisher, but I think I do want more ways to produce tokens in the early game. So I'm going to go ahead and take a Call the Scions and kind of expect to use... We're going to take Colossal Night Watch here because it's just better on its own than the Dude Bro, and we're probably not even going to play it, but what was I going to say? I might actually play this card. Yeah, so Call the Scions I think is better than Swarm Surge in this deck because we're looking at things like Bane of Valakut and Plated Crusher for our finishers, which is which are fine cards. Ooh, I might actually use that. And they don't rely on us having bunches of scions in the late game in a double infest pod, essentially. Can't remember what the actual card is called. Alright, so this is the card that I was thinking about when I took the Ulamog's Reclaimer. I'm still going to take it because it's still very good. There is a Sludge Crawler in this pack that I'd like to have. I'm still not at the point where I'd take a Blister Pod and put it in my deck, but I'd think about it. So I could take a Silent Skimmer here, or I could take a Swarm Surge. Or I could take a Blighted Woodland. I think this is a point at which I want to take a Swarm Surge over like an Eldrazi Devastator. Defiant Bloodlord, I'm not really interested in. If it was like Gul'Draz's Overseer, I might take it. Just because it's probably better than Tajiri Beastmaster pumping my team. Oh mama. Zulaport Cutthroat. When it or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's perfect for this deck. Zulaport Cutthroat gives this deck the kind of reach that I'm looking for. Wow. I want all of these. I kind of like taking Tajiri Warcaller because it's really good with Beastmaster and really good with the rest of my deck. Catacomb Sifter has the potential to wheel. It's also very good in the deck. Like, curving Eyeless Watcher into Tajiri Warcaller has to be insane though. Beastcaller Savant is something that I'd consider taking. It's probably just Catacomb Sifter because it's better on its own than Tajiri Warcaller. That's such a weird decision to make. But I like Catacomb Sifter because it's cheaper than Tajiri Warcaller as well. So we're going to cut one of these Oran Reef Invokers. I think that's better than cutting a Giant Mantis. Or this Natural Connection. Yeah, we have a couple of ways to Anthem our guys already, so I think Warcaller might be good, but it's just a little bit unnecessary. We're going to play the Broodhunter Worm over this Giant Mantis. And we're going to play a Call of the Scions over... Call of the Scions, not Call of the Scions. Call of the Scions over the Broodhunter Worm. I would like a third Rot Shambler. I would like a second Eyeless Watcher. I'd be happy with like a Hedron Archive. Something like that. Well, here's a decision. There's a Rune Processor, which actually isn't great in our deck, just because it's oftentimes not going to find the exile that it needs. I think I like taking Eyeless Watcher over it, which is kind of weird, but in this deck, in like the Swarm Surge deck, the Swarm Surge Zulaport Cutthroat deck, I think it's the right thing to do. Alright, I could see taking Spawning Bed, which would be a sweet late game spell. I could also see, or late game thing to do. I could also see taking Bone Splinters or taking the Rune Processor now. Like, I don't think I want the Bone Splinters because I have Malakir Familiar, which is essentially removal, Complete Disregard, and Grip of Desolation, plus a Brood Butcher and a Gruesome Slaughter. I could also take a second Beastmaster. When's the right time to take Spawning Bed? I think it's now. I think this deck wants a Spawning Bed more than it wants another finisher. I'm gonna go ahead and take Grave Birthing here. We wield the Sludge Crawler, which is fantastic because I love 1-drops as much as the next girl. I'm gonna put that one over here. Getting the Grave Birthing makes me kind of wish I had taken the Rune Processor over the Spawning Bed. Do I want a 4/5 flyer? Not particularly. Do I want a Blighted Woodland though? Also not particularly. We're just gonna take the Defiant Bloodlord. Guess I put this in the board. I don't really have that many sacrifice outlets. We wield the Beast Caller Savant. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to play it, but okay. What didn't we wield? We didn't wield the War Color. That's what we're missing. I think I can cut Scour from existence now. And call the Scions. I'd like to keep in a Grave Birthing. Do I have anything that cares about things being exiled, actually? No. I'll put a Call the Scions back in. Alright, neat. Deck looks sweet. We've got a couple of anthems for our Scions. We've got actually a fair amount of, just a reasonable amount of ramp spells. Sludge Crawler is sweet. All these lands are sweet. Yeah, let's see how it does. I paused to do something, and then I forgot if I actually said anything about the deck. I mean, I had already built it as we were going along. So yeah, we're just gonna add some basics. 7. I kind of like doing 8 and 8 with the Mortuary Mire, and the Evolving Wilds helps. So we're gonna do that and submit.